Peter Griffin may just be a beer-guzzling, overweight guy with a face that looks like it lost a fight with a toaster, but Lois isn't the only woman who's fallen for him. Believe it or not, Peter has had plenty of girlfriends, and some of them were absolutely crazy about this walking disaster. So without wasting any more time, let's check out Peter Griffin's girlfriends. Number 1. Amber. Peter's badass girlfriend in Season 9, Episode 13. It all started on a beautiful evening when the Griffin family gathered around the TV to watch Tom Tucker's drunken news broadcast. Stewie was ridiculously excited because they hadn't seen a news show this entertaining since Passions got canceled.
And I know all the station passwords to do it, so smell that finger, Quahog.
Tom announced that a bizarre new competition called Hand on a Hard Body was coming to town. The winner would take home an old dirt bike, and naturally, Peter immediately became interested, because apparently nothing screams responsible adult like competing for a rusty motorcycle.
Dirt bikes have never been hotter. Besides, I get one of those things, it's gonna be a buffet of beef.
I don't know. Seems stupid to me.
The rules were ridiculously simple. Whoever kept their hand on the dirt bike the longest would win it. Peter was shocked when Carter, his filthy rich father-in-law, also entered the competition. Carter, being the terrible father-in-law he is, planned to win the bike and then destroy it with an excavator just to humiliate Peter. Unfortunately, his master plan went up in smoke when he was eliminated first.
How are you gonna destroy a dirt bike? You can't even open your own aspirin. With that. Ah, damn it!
Furious, Carter decided to personally destroy something else Peter loved. He assumed a bus stop bench would do the trick, but there was one tiny problem. Carter's excavator driving skills were absolutely terrible. It took him forever just to destroy a freaking bench. As the hours passed, contestant after contestant gave up. Eventually, only Peter and Mayor Adam West remained. Somehow, these two lunatics had kept their hands on the bike for 9 straight hours. They started trash-talking each other, desperately trying to make the other quit. But Peter eventually pulled out his ultimate weapon, a picture of a kitten wearing glasses. Adam West simply couldn't resist. He took his hand off the bike and lost the competition.
I just sent you a picture of a kitten in sunglasses.
Well, this I gotta see. Hello, cool kitty.
And because Adam West is still Adam West, losing the competition apparently meant he had to disappear into a nearby cornfield, where he promptly got lost.
Help! I'm lost in corn!
After finally winning his dream dirt bike, Peter completely reinvented himself as Dirt Bike Boy and returned home with his new girlfriend, Amber, who was rocking the exact same badass style.
Amber.
I'm a dirt bike guy now, so I need a dirt bike girlfriend. Yeah, she has small breasts, but she makes up for it by smoking.
Lois remained surprisingly calm because she already knew exactly what kind of stupid nonsense her husband was up to. She ordered Amber to leave immediately so the family could have dinner. But Peter stood up for his girlfriend and refused to let Lois disrespect Amber.
I will not allow you to look down on Amber just because she goes to an alternative high school.
The scene was actually making fun of rebellious troublemakers, but the way Peter defended Amber was so ridiculously dramatic that it's impossible not to laugh. Even Lois eventually gave up and invited Amber to stay for dinner. Amber refused though because apparently her throat was injured.
Nah, I can't. I got a wicked bruise on the back of my throat.
And maybe Peter took that personally because he broke up with Amber shortly afterward, hopped on his beloved dirt bike, and headed off to perform at a major baseball game. Number 2. Gretchen, Peter's ex-girlfriend in Season 14, Episode 17. It all starts when Lois wants to transfer Stewie to a better school called Corridors, where all the students wear shorts and hats like that guy from AC/DC who plays guitar. But there's one tiny problem. The tuition is ridiculously expensive.
When I picked this, I didn't know I'd have to wear it when I'm 16. I'm very cold.
So Lois gets a job at the post office, where we get a glimpse of a future apparently powered by Real Doll. Cleveland takes her through some real-world job training, only to get mercilessly roasted by Amazon's delivery drones.
That won't take too long. Well, gotta go. Gotta deliver these fat pants to your fat son.
When Mayor West drops off an undeliverable letter, Lois volunteers to sort through the dead letter pile and see if she can match some of the letters to the correct addresses. While doing so, she discovers a letter Peter wrote to another woman just 1 week before their wedding.
Oh, There was a time when the president of the Jonathan Taylor Thomas fan club got a lot of mail.
Lois tells Bonnie about her concerns, and Bonnie suggests that she send the letter to find out who Gretchen Mercer really is. Lois thinks it's a great idea because, honestly, if she asks Peter directly, he probably won't give her a serious answer unless there's a tiny fire crackling nearby.
I know about Maurice.
Which Maurice?
So Lois personally delivers the letter and meets Gretchen, where she discovers that Gretchen is Peter's ex-girlfriend. And the letter? It simply says that Peter was excited about getting married. Lois is instantly relieved, and Gretchen even sympathizes with her. Lois admits that jealousy is her weakness because, hey, everyone has a weakness, even Achilles.
My mother dipped me into the river Styx and she held me by my heels, so that's the only part that can be injured. How about you, Testicles?
It's the same. It's similar.
But then Gretchen shows up at the Griffin house and reveals the horrifying truth. The letter actually said Peter had doubts about their upcoming marriage. Gretchen pressures Peter into restarting their relationship, threatening to reveal the real contents of the letter to Lois if he refuses.
Blackmail! Thank you, Cleveland. And I don't know what to call the thing you're doing to me, lady.
While they go out for coffee, Peter tries to explain that he genuinely loves Lois. Gretchen seems to accept this, but only on one condition: one last concert together. Peter wants to say no, but decision-making has never exactly been his superpower. This is the same guy who once got himself into trouble with a kidnapper.
Twinkle tarts! I'm gonna get so molested.
So Peter disguises himself and goes to the concert with Gretchen, but the guilt starts eating him alive and he realizes he can't keep doing this. When Peter walks away, Gretchen's mood changes real quick.
All right, I gotta go. The beard inspector's coming anyway.
Sir, where's your beard?
I'm leaving. I'm on my way out.
Back at the post office, Lois hears some strange noises but doesn't think much of them. But Lois, you might want to turn around, because Gretchen is standing right behind her. Completely losing it, Gretchen sends Peter a cryptic message about solving their problem.
I'm sure it's nothing.
Meg has to translate the crazy girlfriend language for Peter, explaining that Gretchen is a rejected, mentally unstable ex-girlfriend who's trying to hurt Lois. Peter immediately races to the post office to stop this deranged woman's evil plan.
Thank you. Yeah! You're a good dog, Meg. Yeah!
Gretchen forces Lois to read Peter's letter, and Peter explains that back then, he was afraid of disappointing Lois and her family, especially because they all hated him. Lois is still furious and appears to have completely given up.
Because you can have him.
What?
I'll never forgive you for this, Peter. We're through.
But as she walks away, Gretchen starts moving toward Peter. Big mistake. Lois suddenly takes Gretchen down, revealing that she was only pretending to be angry at Peter to catch Gretchen off guard.
Get away from my husband.
Lois admits that she was also scared about their wedding back then, but she loved Peter and was ultimately happy with the life they had built together.
You're the only man for me, Peter Griffin.
I love you, Lois.
And to show their appreciation for each other, the two decide to get intimate from opposite sides of a mailbox. Unfortunately, Peter soon discovers that even romance has its limits, because his penis gets stuck.
Peter, this isn't working.
Well, I'm at full go. Are you sure you're in the right box?
Yes.
Box 528?
Yes, 528.
All right, just reach in and grab it.
Number 3. Alana, Peter's wife in Season 20, Episode 17. It all starts unexpectedly when Lois begins tutoring a beautiful girl named Alana in piano lessons.
As you were.
The same Alana Chris has a huge crush on. Alana reveals that she might not be able to afford college, so Lois convinces Peter to hire her as a maid while he's busy watching the Patriots play. The next morning, Alana moves into the Griffin house to start working. She runs into Chris again, who has prepared a very special keyhole in the bathroom to welcome her.
It'll be good to see you again through the bathroom keyhole. That was not original to the house.
Alana then cooks the whole family a delicious taco and nacho feast. Everyone happily digs in together, making Wheelchair Joe incredibly jealous.
This trout's the lucky one. It's over for him.
What's that, Joe?
Thanks, Bud. Looks terrific.
Things seem to be going perfectly. Alana works hard, cleans the entire house, and even manages to clean out an old swimming pool that had been sitting unused in the backyard.
Cannonball!
There's no water in it, though.
Load
Lois quickly becomes a huge fan of Alana, completely unaware that her new maid is slowly developing a sinister plan to replace her. The next morning, Lois completely forgets that she hired a maid and rushes downstairs, only to find Alana has already prepared an amazing breakfast for the entire family.
The shrinking process was incredibly painful. I take adult-sized poops, but I have kid-sized parts. I could die from this.
Meg thinks Alana is incredibly nice. In fact, the night before, they spent the whole evening together making paper cutouts. Later that night, Peter accidentally runs into Alana wearing her nightgown, and naturally, he calls her Santa, because apparently Peter's brain has a simple rule. Anyone he sees at 2 a.m. must be Santa.
Santa? I can almost see your bum through your nightgown.
Taking advantage of the situation, Alana starts winning Peter over by preparing him an incredible 5-course meal. Meanwhile, Lois begins to sense that something isn't right. While hanging out at the park with Brian, she admits that she thinks Alana is up to something. Brian agrees to investigate and tries talking to Alana, but she cleverly distracts him with a song that Brian happens to love.
You I'll keep pursuing.
Always loving.
Hotter than a baker's oven.
Get out of here!
With the advantage clearly shifting toward Alana, Lois realizes she needs to take matters into her own hands. She offers to pay Alana's college tuition just to get her out of the house. Alana agrees and promises to leave the very next day. Lois thinks $1,200 will finally get rid of Alana, but nope, Alana uses the money to hire a group of hitmen.
Here's $1,200. I want Lois Griffin dead by morning.
When Lois shows up for breakfast the next morning, she's shocked to see Alana dressed up and wearing a red wig that makes her look just like Lois. But Lois draws the line at one thing. Only she gets to do the grocery shopping.
I do the groceries, Alana. You won't like me when I'm groceries.
While shopping, Lois gets distracted by a new store, only to discover that the whole thing is actually a trap set by the hitmen. And because Lois is Lois, she spends the entire time complaining and begging the killers not to hurt her until they're practically more annoyed by her whining than the actual job.
Please don't let 2 white women make a podcast about my disappearance.
Meanwhile, Alana has completely taken Lois's place at home, while Lois is thrown into a deep ravine. During a depressing family meeting, Peter announces that Lois has left and swears that nobody could ever replace her. That is, until Meg mentions dinner.
Hey, Dad, what's for dinner tonight?
And somehow, this brings us straight to the wedding. We get to see Alana and Peter's bizarre journey toward marriage, which is somehow happening despite everything that just went wrong.
It's a very logistically kooky church.
Just as Peter is about to finish the ceremony, Lois crashes through a stained glass window after somehow being thrown down the ravine at the exact right moment to land at the church below. Because apparently, even gravity wants Lois to stop this wedding.
What is this? In all my years as a cool priest, I've never seen such a commotion at Our Lady at the bottom of the hill.
She interrupts the ceremony and confronts Peter about nearly marrying Alana. Peter finally admits that Lois is the woman he truly belongs with, and that he only liked Alana because she had stolen Lois's qualities and place in the family. Joe then arrests Alana, who admits that this is his favorite arrest ever, probably because it was also his easiest.
This is probably like my favorite arrest.
Later, Lois visits Alana in prison, only to become jealous of how easy Alana's life is behind bars. She demands that they switch places, forcing the guards to drag her away.
I want to switch. I want to switch.
Number 4. Angie, the girl who was completely obsessed with Peter in Season 3, Episode 19. In this hilarious episode, we get a look at Peter's long list of ex-girlfriends, and among them is one woman named Angie, who is absolutely obsessed with him. So let me tell you how this whole mess started. Lois unexpectedly runs into an old boyfriend named Ross Fishman, and she's so happy to see him that she completely abandons poor Meg.
Help me.
He's funny.
That was great.
Is it 1981?
The two happily reminisce about the good old days, and before leaving, Ross invites Lois out for coffee as friends. Lois turns him down, but Ross gives her his business card in case she changes her mind.
Hey, look, Dad, they have 12 packs of kidneys.
Yeah, but you gotta buy the cooler too. That's how they get you.
Back home, Lois tells Brian about the encounter, and Brian reminds her of all the ridiculous times Peter has acted insanely jealous.
Oh, look at that handsome man.
You son of a bitch!
Lois decides she's done letting Peter's irrational emotions control her life, so she calls Ross and agrees to meet up and catch up on old times. That night, Lois meets Ross, but by pure coincidence, Peter happens to be shopping nearby and spots her sitting with some random guy.
Whoa, I can see your skin cells.
Oh, hey, I saw your picture on the cover of Scientific American. You looked great.
Oh, please, where my eyes are like half closed.
God, just take the damn compliment.
Naturally, Peter needs to know what they're talking about, so he asks Joe to use the high-tech equipment in his police cruiser to spy on them. In one of the episode's funniest moments, Peter cranks the volume all the way up, accidentally letting the entire group hear Quagmire's private conversations.
Probably that skank who needed a ride to the gas station. Last time I do somebody a favor. Oh God, they must have heard me.
Convinced Lois is secretly dating her ex, Peter goes home and digs out his own list of former girlfriends. First up is Brenda.
Yeah! Hey, Ricky, you were right! I was pregnant!
Then there's Patty, whom Peter believes time has completely forgotten because she somehow still looks exactly the same.
Hey, what's up, Pete? Long time no see.
Gosh, Patty, the years have been great to you.
Well, I owe that to my better half. Who is it, sir?
And finally, there's Angie, the woman I mentioned earlier who is completely freaking obsessed with Peter. Her entire house is covered in pictures of him, and it gets even crazier. She hasn't washed her hand in 25 years because Peter once touched it. Yep, Peter somehow left a bigger impression on her than soap ever did.
The little piece of you that's kept your memory alive! But now I have you back. Oh well, at least I still have you. You hungry?
But Peter isn't finished with his ridiculous jealousy. He hires a woman named Dora to pretend to be one of his ex-girlfriends and show up at the house looking for him. Peter's completely irrational jealousy drives Lois insane, and she decides they desperately need marriage counseling.
Dora, my old girlfriend! What a surprise that you would want to look me up. You always thought I was so handsome.
Peter, can I see you in the other room?
They visit a therapist who recommends putting cameras around the house to monitor their strange behavior. After filming them for a week, the therapist decides they should temporarily separate and date other people. Apparently, watching Peter and Lois for 7 days was enough to make even a professional therapist give up.
I believe this will help you gather perspective on your marriage.
Date other people?
Oh my God!
The separation helps them understand their relationship better, and they even bring in Howie Mandel to lighten the mood. When Peter moves out, both of them feel incredibly strange about it. Lois thinks the separation might actually be good for them, while Peter believes their trial separation will go about as well as a Pac-Man divorce.
Hey, you want to eat us? Up?
We're turning blue!
Oh my God!
nowhere to run.
He's not budging. Come on, let's go to Cubert's.
Peter moves in with his good friend Cleveland, but that night he can't sleep at all. Eventually, he decides to stay with Mort instead. Meanwhile, Lois calls Quagmire and tells him she's having a little marriage problem. The doctor recommended that they date other people. Quagmire doesn't even wait for the sentence to finish. He's already there.
Well, we are supposed to see other people, and I guess it's better to go out with you than some sex pervert.
I'm in!
Peter, meanwhile, sadly tells Neil that single life isn't nearly as amazing as he thought it would be, and despite everything, he doesn't even want to go back to any of the women he used to date. Then Mort introduces Peter to his niece. Peter sees a beautiful woman and immediately agrees to go on a date with her. They can go anywhere they want, except a nightclub because Peter has already been banned from the place.
Crafty Mexicans and your glass candy.
By complete coincidence, they end up at the same restaurant as Lois and Quagmire. Quagmire immediately panics because he's terrified Peter will discover that he's actually dating his wife.
Oh no, I can't let him see me.
It's okay, Quagmire. We're just doing what the therapist said we should do.
Lois walks over and warns Jennifer Love Hewitt to behave herself, but Jennifer actually likes Peter despite the fact that he behaves like a complete idiot. Lois finally loses it when she sees Jennifer kissing her husband and charges over to attack her.
What's your problem, Grandma?
You are! And I only saw heartbreakers on a plane! And a flight was delayed, so the headphones were free!
In the end, Peter and Lois realize they're both hopelessly jealous people, and apparently, they're just going to have to live with it. The episode ends with the two of them going back on a date together, happily embracing their toxic jealousy, and punching every waiter who dares to come anywhere near them.
Ma'am, you dropped your napkin.
Here's your drink, sir.
Yeah, we'll work on it later. I love you, Lois.
Number 5. An older woman who fell for Peter in Mom's the Word. Peter isn't just popular with younger women. In this episode, we get to see his incredible charm working on a woman old enough to be his mother. Yes, somehow Peter Griffin has become irresistible to the senior citizens. So here's what happened. Peter eats an entire batch of Lois's raw cookie dough, making her furious. Peter tries to defend himself by saying, "Everybody makes mistakes, just like the people who invented the first hybrid car."
Eric, we love the car. We only want to change one thing.
Is it the rapist sign?
Yes, it is the rapist sign.
I quit.
At work, Peter is bored out of his mind during a meeting. He absolutely does not want to be there, saying he'd rather stay home revealing shocking secrets about garage doors. But suddenly, his stomach starts hurting. Apparently, the raw cookie dough is fighting the taco he picked up from a parking lot.
Oh, God, it hurts. It hurts.
Of course it hurts, Griffin. They were good men, all of them.
Peter hopes he can survive until the meeting ends, but Angela says absolutely not. Eventually, Peter can't hold it anymore and makes a desperate sprint for the bathroom. Of course, nothing is ever easy for Peter, and he has to overcome a ridiculous series of obstacles just to reach the toilet.
Uh-oh!
Afterward, Peter sadly washes his underwear in the bathroom, wishing he would be remembered for his movie achievements rather than pooping his pants. When he gets home, his friends and family greet him with some terrible news. His mother has died from a stroke.
She had a stroke this afternoon and she died.
Peter immediately decides to post the horrible news on Facebook without explaining what happened, because apparently that's how Peter Griffin handles grief. The funeral takes place shortly afterward, where Brian tells Stewie that everyone eventually dies. Stewie feels like he learns something new every day, just like the Black Eyed Peas.
Hey, what's that?
This is a guitar.
Wow.
After the funeral, the family starts sorting through Thelma's belongings when her friend Evelyn arrives to offer her condolences to the Griffins. Evelyn knows everything about Peter's mother, so she offers to tell Peter all about her and asks him to meet her later.
Peter, the two of you should hang out together.
I'd like that very much. Well, it's 4 o'clock. I'm off to bed.
Peter gets excited, imagining that she could become his new mother, just like his two adoptive fathers, Paul Reiser and Greg Evigan, whom he can never remember the difference between.
I keep forgetting your names. Can you just be Jew Dad and you'll be Earring Dad?
When Peter visits Evelyn at the retirement community, her company makes him incredibly happy. In fact, he hasn't felt this good since meeting the Mad Hatter. Evelyn later meets Peter's friends at the Clam, but her presence annoys them so much that they all immediately run away. Peter admits that he feels incredibly comfortable around Evelyn, and then the plot twist hits. Evelyn kisses Peter, instantly snapping him back to reality.
Come on, are you molesting me or watching TV?
Peter tells Lois what happened, and Lois tells him to talk to Evelyn about it. She thinks it might have been accidental, especially since Peter has previously mistaken completely normal behavior for someone flirting with him.
Would you like to add chips and a drink?
Here we go again.
Peter goes back to Evelyn to clear things up, but she claims it was just the medication and apologizes. They continue spending the day together, but Evelyn's antics become increasingly sexual and inappropriate, driving Peter completely crazy. That happens, Peter becomes convinced that this isn't just the medication, so it's finally time to say goodbye. Peter accuses Evelyn of tricking him, just like those online predators. Later, Peter visits his mother's grave, where Evelyn finds him and explains that he's the first man to pay attention to her since her husband died. They share an emotional hug, but then Peter pulls her closer, kills her, and leaves her with the cemetery groundskeeper to deal with.
Evelyn? Evelyn?
Because apparently that's Peter Griffin's idea of a healthy way to end a relationship.
It looks like somebody's mom died or something. I don't know. You'll take care of this, right?
Number 6. Becky, the woman who was really into Peter. The episode Single White Dad shows Peter desperately trying to become the world's greatest dad, and somehow, along the way, he manages to attract a beautiful woman. The story begins with Peter trying to bond with Chris through the greatest video game of all time, Donkey Kong.
This game sucks!
But Chris thinks the game is incredibly boring, so Peter decides they can make it more exciting by bringing it to life and building their own Donkey Kong levels right in front of the house. The boys give it a shot, but one of their barrels accidentally hits Lois and breaks her leg, and somehow this injury takes Peter's parenting skills to the next level.
Ah, my foot! Oh, I think it's broken.
Uh-oh, next level.
Since Lois can't walk, Peter is forced to take care of the kids all by himself for an entire week. Lois tells him not to worry, it's only for a week. But Peter has never exactly been known for his childcare skills. Just remember the great orchid custody battle. Oh, Peter screwed up by leaving the orchid facing west. Hopefully the O'Malleys can do a better job.
A western-facing window? That's direct afternoon sunlight, you monster!
Apparently, having your wife around is extremely important when you're Peter Griffin, because without Lois, he can barely function. He even steals Chris's bread crusts.
Dads need to eat first.
Still, Peter has no choice but to try his best. While struggling to take care of the kids, people mistakenly assume he's a single father and start showering him with sympathy.
You're doing a great job, Dad.
So cute! Hashtag dance like a dad.
I'm waving to someone behind you.
And Peter immediately realizes there's an opportunity here, so he decides to pretend Lois is dead so he can enjoy all the special privileges of being a single dad.
Get free extra whipped cream on your Frappuccino.
It already comes with a lot of whipped cream.
Peter quickly becomes a local celebrity, attracting attention and admiration from single mothers all over Quahog after successfully changing Stewie's diaper. Meanwhile, Lois is stuck upstairs, completely helpless and forced to ring a bell whenever she needs someone to help her. At one point, Chris goes upstairs to get rid of a fly for her, and unfortunately sees something he really shouldn't have seen. He proceeds to cry his eyes out.
Brim with sex toys.
Sorry. Look in the bottom drawer.
Wrong again!
Later, at the park, Peter meets a beautiful widow named Becky, a single mother who invites Peter and Stewie over to hang out with her and her son, TJ. Becky quickly becomes fond of Peter because of his innocent, childish personality. She suggests they make these playdates a regular thing, and Peter agrees. Eventually, Becky starts flirting with him, telling Peter that he reminds her of her late husband, Scott. Peter immediately becomes nervous when she kisses him.
I wonder what Scott would think of this.
Give her a break. She was acquitted.
He turns to his friends for advice, and Quagmire gives him two options: dump her, or if Peter wants to become a complete scumbag, Quagmire has an introductory package ready for him. Peter decides to break things off by text before Lois can discover what's going on. Unfortunately, Becky has other plans.
You are a great person, but things are moving a little too fast. Almost as fast as this gif of Forrest Gump running out of his driveway.
She invites herself over to Peter's house to cook him dinner, putting Peter in an incredibly awkward situation. And this leads to one of Peter's most sweaty, panic-filled evenings ever.
I'll be right back. Hello, dear.
He spends the entire night frantically running back and forth between the dining room and the master bedroom, desperately trying to keep his two lives from colliding. While going upstairs to grab a heating pad from the attic, Peter narrowly manages to stop Bonnie from entering the house.
It's not for sale. You'd need a furniture dolly to get it out of the basement anyway.
We have one. I'll give you $100.
But then his luck gets even worse. The attic door locks behind him, forcing Peter to escape through a window. He then gets tricked by a rat and takes a painful tumble straight to the ground.
Ow! That's for putting locks on your garbage cans, you dick!
At this point, Peter's only goal is simple: make sure these two women never meet. Naturally, his brilliant plan eventually falls apart. Lois is furious that Peter pretended she was dead, while Becky is heartbroken that Peter lied to her.
What kind of a mother leaves their husband with the kids for a week? It is a miracle they're alive!
Excuse me?
Peter finally confesses that he was only pretending to be a single dad because he thought raising his kids alone would be easier that way. He then declares that all mothers are heroes and admits that he's incredibly lucky to have one raising his kids. Lois, meanwhile, gives Becky some brutally honest advice. She should find someone else because she can definitely do better than Peter Griffin.
You're right. Ever since I lost my late husband, Scott,
Number 7. Kimmy, the woman who loved Peter's sense of humor in Take My Wife. Peter and Lois are getting ready for a couples-only vacation in the Bahamas, so they ask Carter and Babs to look after the kids. Unfortunately, only Carter shows up because Babs is busy playing a grumpy old woman in a rap music video.
My garden party has been ruined, but I'm beginning to tap my foot.
And speaking of couples vacations, you can't have one without Quagmire. He quickly finds himself a beautiful girlfriend to bring along, which immediately makes Peter a little jealous. Lois notices that Peter hasn't been this excited since he received a letter from an owl.
You hit one of my kids, and now he can't fly right.
Well, fine, then I'll just throw rocks at the hornets.
And that was the moment Peter unknowingly started a 1,000-year war between insects and birds.
Sorry, I'm being told this would be very expensive to animate, so instead here's some stock footage of an old plane trying to take off.
Once they arrive, everyone splits up to enjoy the resort's facilities. Peter, as usual, immediately starts causing trouble and messing with a pool lifeguard.
I'm here a whole week, pal.
And do you know what Quagmire spends the entire afternoon doing? Sunbathing. But wait, how did his lower half not get sunburned? I'm guessing a lot of you have no idea. If you know the answer, explain it in the comments.
And what the hell happened to you?
Oh, Kimmy and I fell asleep on the beach.
Yeah, I think you better change.
Okay, we'll be down in a minute.
It turns out the wives didn't bring their husbands here just for a fun vacation. They secretly planned to attend a couples therapy retreat, which leaves Peter so disappointed that he literally lets a coconut fall on his head just to forget about it.
Ah! I remember everything! I was abused by my dad!
Peter is furious that Lois tricked him, but their counselor Noel assures everyone that they won't regret it and tells them to come back the next morning. The next day, their first counseling exercise is to tell each other sentences beginning with "I feel," and pay close attention to the final couple. You're going to love it.
I feel like salty and sweet. You got white chocolate french fries?
I feel like my cervix hurts.
I feel pride.
After several exercises, Noel determines that the couples simply aren't compatible. But there's one interesting problem. They're actually perfect for someone else in the group. So Noel decides to switch everyone into new couples. And Peter gets paired with Kimmy. Peter celebrates like he just won the Super Bowl.
Joe and Donna, and Peter and Kimmy.
Yay! I win couples counseling!
And surprisingly, the experiment actually works. Peter and Kimmy have a great time together and genuinely enjoy each other's company. Although the real highlight of the episode belongs to Quagmire and Bonnie. After spending some time together, Kimmy tells Peter that he's an amazing and incredibly funny guy, and naturally, Lois gets jealous. Right at that moment, Noel returns and asks everyone how they feel about their new partners, and whether they understand each other better now.
No, I can see now that coming here was a huge mistake. You're hopeless, Peter.
Your feet look old.
But Lois, completely consumed by jealousy, declares that this whole thing was a terrible mistake and demands that the vacation end immediately.
Please, I urge you to finish the program.
No, thank you. I never should have come here. Or at least not with him.
Number 8. Peter's new wife in Emmy-winning episode. Tired of never winning an Emmy, Peter launches his own For Your Consideration campaign for Family Guy, deciding that the show needs to become more like the prestigious shows that actually win awards. He starts by changing the comedy, and suddenly, Sofia Vergara, the famous Colombian actress, replaces Lois as Peter's hot new wife.
Kids, it's me, tu madre, Lois Griffin. Time for breakfast.
Oh, yeah. Good morning, Lois, which is who you are. My wife, Lois.
So what happens to Lois? She becomes a delivery driver and warns Peter not to cross the line.
Package for Peter Griffin.
Thank you, unknown delivery woman.
Forget the freaking Emmy. If you touch her ass, I will.
The new Lois sees the Amazon logo and completely misunderstands it, thinking it means shoes made from banana leaves sent by her uncle who lives in the Amazon rainforest. She quickly becomes attracted to Peter, but unfortunately for her, Peter has bigger plans in this episode.
I am a woman, and always have been. I've made plans to undergo surgery so my wang don't get in the way of the woman what I am.
Ay, Dios mío!
He wants to undergo gender reassignment surgery and become a woman, so new Lois doesn't exactly get much screen time. Poor Peter. Even his replacement wife couldn't catch a break.